we had our first leadership seminar last week, and I was really impressed with our kids. What I had them do to start, and if you have a curriculum that's better than this, please share it with me because I am letting the kids kind of lead this, but I'm open to every idea. The first thing we did once they were, is we took, 20 minutes to say hi and catch up, and it was the last day of school, so they're see how their finals went. So the first organized thing we did was I had them take an index card, big index cards for each of them, and they wrote on it, teams need good leaders because, and then on the other side they wrote, what makes a good leader is blank. So we did a brain dump, which is every idea is a good idea. No idea is a bad idea. If it pops in your head, put it down. So we started, I forget which side we started with, but why teams need good leaders. Brain dump, 2 minutes, go. So I gave them 2 minutes, and then we flipped the card over. We said, what makes a good leader? Brain dump, go. And then I had them kind of categories style, figure out, I split them in groups of 2 because I only had 8 there. And they circled all the things they had in common, right? Things that were in the same ballpark. So one of them might've said, yeah, they listen well, and another might've said communicates well. And those fall in the same wheelhouse. So they have those in common. So they circle them. And one thing I found super interesting was that all 8 of the kids who were there, we kind of decided that it was going to be like the gold star if they had all of them in common. The one thing they all had like very clearly in common was that good leaders are inclusive. Good leaders are inclusive, and teams need good leaders to make everyone feel included. Inclusivity was the thing they had in common. They all had other things that were important. That was it. So I'll be curious. I'm going to have a bigger group next week because we had promotion, we had people had jobs and whatever. So I'm going to be really curious to see if our bigger group also agrees that inclusivity is an important part of leadership. And if they do, then we'll dive into inclusivity. So then what we did is we talked about that, and I challenged them a little bit on things, and then I gave them what I call an accountability card. And I don't think I have one here, but it's a index card that says Caldwell Girls Soccer on it. And on the back, they wrote, this week, I will practice being more inclusive by, and I left it up to them. But I encouraged them to let their sentence be as specific as possible, like awkwardly specific. So if one of them wrote something like, I'm going to practice being inclusive by inviting my friend over to my pool, I kind of went around with their permission and I said, can I offer suggestions on these? And, instead of that, you say, I'm going to invite Katie over at 3:00 to come in my pool on Saturday. Or I'm going to go out for coffee with my little sister on Sunday morning. Like very super specific, because there's good research that shows when we are specific about what we intend to do and give ourselves a time and place to do it, and it has to do with habit forming, we're way more likely to do it than if we just say, well, I'm going to invite a friend over. Who and when? And I'm reminding myself now, I did one of those cards too, and I have to call one of my coaches and pick his brain on leadership. I said I was going to do that Saturday afternoon. It's Saturday at 12:47. I have to call it. And if I had just said, oh, call him this week to catch up with him, I probably wouldn't do it. Now I'm reminded like, oh, I have to do it. And then my intention with this is they're going to bring those cards back next week. And simply, I don't even have to look at it. They're going to hand me the card. I'm going to ask them, did you do what you said you would do? If they say yes, they get the card back. If they say no, I keep the card. And they're going to learn that the whole point of this all summer is they should be keeping their cards. They set the standard. And I just help hold them accountable to it, which is kind of how sports should be. And we continue to raise that standard. So that would be my challenge for you. That was like a really practical piece of advice that I got from Lenny Krebs, who I met through Key 5. And I am curious to see how it's going to pan out, but I can't imagine that it's going to be bad.